Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, July 4th just passed, and you know there's a lot of companies that just can't wait for the holiday season, especially holidays like July 4th, because that's where the business is. You know, if you're a retail shop that sells flowers, if you deal in flowers, then Valentine's Day, that's your season. Can't wait. If you're a beer company, and you sell beer for people who want to party and have a good time and celebrate, well then your season is probably July 4th, as well as a couple other holidays. The question is, how are beer companies doing this July 4th? Or better yet, how was Bud Light doing ahead of July 4th? You know exactly where I'm going with this. Setting records in all the worst ways imaginable, Bud Light's disastrous fall is so aggressive and continues to be so insanely bad that even the 4th of July can't save them. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. Let's continue to keep the pressure on. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so ahead of July 4th weekend, Bud Light tweeted it's July 4th weekend. Enjoy some beer. Of course, as we previously covered, they got ratioed into oblivion, which continues to happen on their Twitter account. But a ratio's one thing. The question is, how were their sales ahead of the holiday? Well, just as bad as the ratio. Bud Light sales shrunk 28% in the week before holiday weekend, the second worst year-on-year sales decline since the backlash began. Ahead of the 4th of July weekend, Bud Light sales remained much lower than in the same period last year. Sales of Bud Light dropped 27.9% on last year in the week ending June 24th, which is slightly better than the worst decline on record, which is 28.5% the week before, according to Nielsen IQ data provided by Bump Williams Consulting to the New York Post. But unit sales were still deteriorating, down 31.1% from the week ending in June 24th, worse than the 31.1% decline the week before. And let's refer to these beautiful charts that we've been accumulating at this point. It's just totally insane. Take a look at this decline. We thought May was bad. I was covering these May numbers as if we're possibly reaching the bottom, but it keeps getting worse, and you'd expect it to get better. We're in the summer. This is when people love to drink beer. This is when all the festivals are going on, all kinds of outdoor concerts and venues and events, and even with all of those mediums to sell beer, even with Bud Light spending millions and millions of dollars running promotions, ads, sponsorships, they're in the freaking gutter, and it's getting worse. We're looking at nearly a 1/3 reduction in peak season, and even ahead of July 4th, they still can't manage to undo the damage. And well, it's because the damage has been done. It's exactly what we've been saying. Consumers have made new habits. They've selected new products. Those are their new go-tos, and Bud Light has been left in the dust. Bud Light takes another rankings hit amid continued fallout from the Dylan fiasco. Bud Light has taken another hit in its rankings, losing its place as one of the country's top 10 most popular beers. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light's parent company, has unsuccessfully tried to rehabilitate the Bud Light brand following severe backlash over its partnership with a particular individual. Bud Light is currently sitting at the number 14 spot, a drop from number 9 last year, according to a YouGov survey Fox News reported. The top 5 most liked beers include Guinness, Heineken, Corona, Samuel Adams, and Blue Moon, the report added. The survey from YouGov was conducted during the second quarter of 2023, April to mid-June, and sampled 1,468 Americans. Some 42% of Americans said that they liked Bud Light in the survey, the same proportion from the same period in 2022. However, other brands surged in popularity, knocking Bud Light from the top 10. Keep in mind that that data was from April to mid-June, so most likely it's even worse now. They lost their top spot to Modelo in terms of sales, and in terms of brand health, they've dropped from the top 10 at that 9th spot all the way to 14. And like I said, considering the progression of this boycott and how it keeps getting worse, they're probably even lower than that if you would retake that survey. Fox News did their own little survey, I guess, of sorts, speaking to people on the street, and well, let's just say Bud Light has some problems.
What beer we gonna drink on 4th of July?
I don't know, what beer?
Anything but Bud Light. Probably maybe Heineken Light.
No Bud Light. Say no.
Say no to Bud Light.
Say no to Bud.
Say no to Bud Light.
No Bud Light. No Bud Light.
Out here.
Anything but Bud Light.
We're not drinking Bud Light, that's for sure.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nobody wants to drink Bud Light. It's gotten so insane. These kinds of headlines keep pouring in. Bud Light is now cheaper than water at some retailers after $20 billion disaster, as some stores report a 50% decline in sales year on year after marketing gimmick gone wrong. Bud Light is now selling for less than water in some places. It's just not moving like it used to, Andy Wagner, Glenn Miller's beer and soda warehouse in Pennsylvania told the New York Times. At this point, it's cheaper than some of the cases of water that we're selling in the back. Wagner added that the drop-off in sales cannot be attributed to a general lack of interest in drinking beer among American consumers, obviously. Cases of Miller Lite, for instance, are flying off the shelves at $24.99, far more than the seriously marked down $8.99 case of Bud Light. They're selling Bud Light for $9 a case, and nobody wants to take it. People are literally making the conscious decision, paying $16 more a case, just so they don't have to be associated with Bud Light. As crazy as it seems, we've even seen Bud Light essentially being sold for free. $15 cases on $15 discount. Well, kind of, but anyways, I'm leading to this story, which makes it very interesting when you see a headline like this. No need to steal, they're practically giving it away. A thief walks into convenience store and takes 3 cases of Bud Light. I don't know what this person was thinking. Why steal them? They're basically already free. What are you doing? Risking a criminal record? Risking your freedom stealing something that people will give to you? There's probably people who have a pre-controversy Bud Light in their fridge that they want to get rid of, that they want to dispose of, and they'll give it to you for free. And of course, some of these stores are probably willing to do the exact same thing. It's absolutely unbelievable. But it also puts everything into perspective, huh? I mean, you know that your brand is in trouble, irreparably so, if those are the kinds of jokes that people are making, if people are making jokes about your product being so bad or your brand being so bad that you can't give it away, literally, well, that's how you know that you're in big trouble. And that's exactly where Bud Light is right now, and boy, do they deserve it. Gotta keep the pressure on. I don't care what people are saying in the comments section, on Twitter, whatever. I know some people, of course, it's a minority, not necessarily you guys, but you hear chatter about how the whole thing's a grift. YouTubers are just doing it for big views. It's not the case at all, and actually, while these Bud Light videos have been getting decent views, the CPMs have been pretty trash. The ad revenue that they generate isn't anything close to any of the political videos that I'm making, because we're headed into election season, and actually Joe Biden is running ads on my YouTube videos. Ironically enough, the videos that are generating the most amount of money are Joe Biden videos, where I trash Joe Biden and he pays me for it. It's not a grift for views. It's simply the right thing to do. It's important, and so I'm gonna keep doing it. Keep that pressure on. Bud Light is the warning shot for every other company. You want to get woke, and I mean really woke, not just like slight woke pandering. You want to go the Disney or the Target route, or the Bud Light route, well then just keep in mind that consumers are paying attention, and they're putting their money where their mouth is, and it's not just going to be a little blip on the radar, a little 2 weeks of not tweeting and sending ridiculous, bogus PR statements. No, it's going to be a long-term, sustained brand collapse, and we're going to keep the pressure going as long as it takes. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. You know that we'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.